today I want to speak about finding the complete self, and really finding the complete self and really going back home into our true essence, which is the state of consciousness of the present moment, which is the state of consciousness of source energy. Now, in order to find your complete self, you gotta in a way see yourself like you are already your complete self. Okay, so it's important to see yourself like you are already there, like you are already in your best state. You gotta visualize it, you gotta embrace it, you gotta acknowledge it, you gotta see yourself like you are already there. And this is actually really powerful because it's like you are giving yourself the hints. Okay, it's like you are giving yourself the consciousness necessary in order for you to operate at your best potential, okay? So realize that you don't have to fight your thoughts, you don't have to fight your feelings. You just gotta allow it to be there. Okay, if you are stepping into the state of observation, you are stepping into the state of higher consciousness, from my perspective. Okay, so observation, observe yourself and realize that you are the channel for higher consciousness. You are the channel for higher consciousness. You are the channel for higher vibrations. You are the channel for your spirit to actually operate through and as you. Okay, so see yourself like you are already there. This is actually the first tool. See yourself like you are already there, and really embrace that new version of yourself. Embrace that new version of yourself. Embrace that version of yourself that is creative, that is abundant, that gives himself the opportunity to relax more. Okay, and I realized that yes, we cannot always stay in the aligned state. We cannot always stay connected. Maybe we cannot always be always happy and always in tune with ourselves. And that is when we are feeling disconnected. That is when we are feeling in contrast with what we desire. That is when we are feeling in contrast with the present moment. That is when we are feeling disconnected and out of the aligned state. But what I come to realize is the fact that if we learn how to make a different choice and really allow the energy to be there, then we are instantly placed back into the aligned state. Okay, so if you learn how to observe even your disconnection, if you learn how to observe even your sadness, if you learn how to observe even the fact that you are disconnected, you will instantly step back into the aligned state. Okay, so it's a process of observation. This is actually the second tool in order for you to be in your best self. Observe yourself, observe your feelings, observe your thoughts, and allow them to be there. Allow them to be there and realize that you are only the witness of your experience. You are only the witness of your own experience. You are only the witness of your own consciousness. And this is actually a really powerful state of consciousness, to observe yourself and to really allow your heart to be present. Allow your consciousness to be present. This is actually really powerful. So observe yourself. Enter a state of consciousness where you are silencing the mind and you are just becoming present with what is, with any kind of experience that you've had, with any kind of experience that you are having. Silence the mind and be with the experience, because the only problem happens in the mind. Usually the only problem happens in the mind. Usually the only problem is in our inner consciousness. If we solve the problem from within, then we are solving the problem itself. So if we solve the problem from within, we are solving the problem by itself. Okay, so solve the problem from within and realize that you give birth to circumstances. Okay, you give power to circumstances. Circumstances don't give power to you, you give power to circumstances. You are that powerful that you can actually shift and attract any type of experience with your own conscious mind, with your own state of allowing things to happen. okay? And I realized that it's not about chasing stuff. It's not about constantly chasing stuff. It's about learning how to attract stuff in our lives, okay? It's about really attuning to a different energy. It's about allowing energy to be there. And when you allow energy to be there, you also transform energy. Because this is actually the state of observation, okay? You are only the witness of your experience. You are only the witness of your experience, okay? So allow yourself to be conscious in this witnessing. Allow yourself to be conscious in this state of consciousness that represents the present moment, that represents focus, that represents mental peace, that represents mental alignment, vibrational alignment, okay? So yeah, see yourself like you are already there. Observe yourself. Silence the mind. Okay, these are the three things that I've mentioned so far. If we are connected to this state of consciousness that is mostly without thoughts, now we are connected to the present moment. And I realized within my own journey, within my own experience, that it's not easy to live without thoughts, because the mind constantly seeks more. The mind constantly wants more. The mind constantly is operating as the ego, and the ego is constantly fighting. The ego is constantly fighting, but the higher self is not fighting. The higher self is about oneness. The higher self is about seeing the beauty in the other. The ego is about separation. The ego is about separation. The higher self is about oneness, okay? So we gotta see ourselves like we are one family, one tribe, one consciousness. Okay, if we hurt another, we hurt ourselves. This is what I've realized within my own journey. If I've hurt another, I've hurt my own consciousness. I've hurt my own beingness. Okay, so realize that we are all one. This is actually another tip to raise your level of consciousness and step into your complete self. To realize the power of oneness. Okay, and to go beyond separation, because separation is an illusion. Separation is the consciousness of the ego. We are all one consciousness. Whatever we do onto other, it will return back onto ourselves, even energetically. This is what I've experienced. If I've tried to hurt another being, it came back to me, okay? So realize that you have the power to forgive yourself. You have the power to forgive yourself, and you have the power to start fresh. Now, in order to find your complete self, you gotta actually make the peace within yourself first. You gotta forgive yourself in the process. You gotta forgive yourself and start afresh with your own new consciousness. With a new consciousness. Because every experience builds you, but you gotta forgive experiences. You gotta forgive experiences. You gotta forgive yourself. You gotta forgive yourself. This is actually like one of the most powerful tools that you can use. Self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness and forgiveness of others. Super important, super powerful. Okay? To be your that consciousness that doesn't want to fight anymore. That consciousness that is only about allowing things to happen and seeing the beauty in everything. And seeing the beauty in the present moment, and seeing the beauty in the tools that it has around itself. Okay? So it's not about fighting. It's not about fighting our thoughts. Fighting is about the ego. Oneness is about the higher self. Okay? So yeah. Embrace the lesson. Embrace the lesson and surrender to what is. And even if you feel like you can't surrender, even if you feel like you are keep being stuck in thoughts, even if you feel like you are being keep stuck in a low vibrational consciousness, allow it to be there. Allow it to be there and take the juice out of it and realize that life goes on. Life goes on with whatever tools that we have. And when we embrace what we have, we also expand what we have. Okay guys, so these are my tools to actually step into your complete self. And the last tip, self-forgiveness, is one of the most important things you could do to yourself. Self-forgiveness and self-love. Okay, so forgive yourself. forgive yourself and see what happens. Okay, so guys, thanks for watching, and like always, see you on what is coming up next. I do one-on-one coaching sessions. If you want to work with me on a spiritual level, that represents evolution, feel free to contact me and let's step right into the play. Okay, so thanks for watching and see ya on what is coming up next. I love you. These are my tips on how to be your complete self. It's to vibrational alignment, silence the mind, observe yourself, and forgive yourself and others. It's time to actually step into a new journey, into a new state of consciousness, into a state of consciousness that represents joy and bliss and harmony. Okay, so much peace, and see you on what is coming up next. I love you.